Hey there, Canvas recognition expert Sarah McVanel here. I had some rock star clients who are planning some really big appreciation events, and they asked me this really great, this super juicy question. How do we make sure that our event truly makes a difference? How do we make sure that all of the time, energy, and resources that we're investing are going to lead to the results that we want? And it really is a great question, because I'll tell you, I'm actually embarrassed to admit this. I have been a part of planning events earlier in my career that did not land. Not only did they not really make a difference, there's a few events that had the opposite effect. We call that in psych unintended consequences. So exactly what we were trying to do, it did the opposite. We tried to appreciate people and they felt like they were left out or they were unappreciated. We tried to make sure people felt a greater sense of connection to the values and mission of the organization, and people felt even more disconnected, that it was like an us-them corporate thing. So I've learned from my mistakes, but more importantly, I've learned from having helped hundreds of organizations knock it out of the park when it comes to appreciation. So I have the great formula. I mean, not only is it great, we can use that as a descriptive adjective, it also is an acronym, because anyone who knows me, you'll know I love a good acronym. So what does G stand for? G stands for gratitude. I want to give you an example. So I come from healthcare, and our foundation often would have grateful patient programs. In other words, you receive great care, you want to feed that support and appreciation back into the organization, and it buys much needed equipment so that people in a situation like you can have the latest equipment in their care. Great idea, right? And I love it. It's perfect. However, those stories don't always get back to the individuals providing that care. Sometimes people can't remember who provided that care. It could be a team type of care environment, which is almost all environments, right? However, here is your perfect opportunity to make sure you loop it back in, including some of those stories of gratitude. If you're a sales professional, you probably want to hear about your customers who are so happy and loyal to your products that you're selling, to the work that you do, how you provided great service and you clarified their offering and so forth. So no matter what your role, I mean, those are two extreme examples, right? No matter what role you have, no matter what organization you are in, if you are planning an appreciation event, please make sure this is an opportunity for the individuals that this event is about to hear and feel that sense of gratitude from the people that matter most to them. All right, R is relevant. Whatever your event is about, it has to be relevant to what is going on for them. So a great example is my colleagues and I are planning a Nurses Week Resiliency Reboot 2021. Here we are, midst of wave 3 in COVID. My gosh, our healthcare folks exhausted. So the focus is on resiliency because that is what we hear from thousands, let me just say hundreds of thousands of nurses and nurse leaders. This is what they need most. If it were about motivation, nobody is feeling motivated. Nobody wants this rah, pom-poms out sort of thing. So making sure that what you focus on, it's very tempting to make appreciation events thematic. The external organizations or maybe whatever the association is saying, this is the theme. Sure, that's great. You know, you can tie it in with a theme if that's really important to you to link up to another organization. However, remember, it is about the person that you're celebrating and appreciating. So do not let external forces or your own desires and needs. I want to make sure everybody gets the new strategic plan. Nobody cares except your board and some senior leaders about the strategic plan. I'm sorry to say it. I just got to say it. Nobody cares. And I was one of those people who were helping the organizations to form it. The reality is they don't care. And it's not because they don't care about the organization. It's because it's not the core work that they are doing. So make the appreciation event relevant to that person. E, energizing. If it's relevant to them, it can build energy. And the energy may need to be based on tools, resources, strategies. It could be very specific. And part of it being energizing is that I can take one step forward. The research on habit formation out of Stanford University around tiny habits is what is the smallest increment of change that would help that person. And so think about how you can break down how your event intersects, supports, engages, builds sense of connection, recharges people, whatever that focus is. How can we make sure that folks can get into action in the way they need it as a result of your experience? So energizing comes from I can manage it, I can relate to this, I appreciate it, I can do this. So how do you make sure that it is the right level of energy and that it helps that person move into even just a small action and step forward? Events that are nice at the time, stop. And then we don't see this extension beyond it. So we want to make sure that we are able to have long-term, that this person feels, or these people feel, that they have tools and strategies, that there's a sense of achievement and appreciation that extends well beyond the confines of that day or week or event. All right, A is appreciate. Sorry for all the binging. I have some folks I'm planning an appreciation event with, and obviously things are hot and happening here. Appreciate, and actually that is a perfect example because we're doing this massive brainstorm right now. What are all the ways that we can have little micro moments of appreciation in our event? And so that's a really great way to key up this part of great. The A is appreciate. The little things matter. We often think the event is about the education. It's about the the big speech. It's about the posters, and we can get really caught up. I mean, those are all important. Those are kind of your anchors to the elements of your program. And what are those micro moments that people will remember? That fun t-shirt that maybe you use to help get people there and build this sense of buzz and energy that people want to wear outside of that particular appreciation week or that appreciation milestone event. Similarly, if let's say you start a recognition, which I would highly recommend, start your recognition event early, not just during the week. Start to get that going beforehand so that by the time this week or day or milestone event happens, people are already in that achievement, appreciation, collective experience of recognition mode. All right, last piece is team-oriented. Sometimes people are hesitant to do an appreciation week because they feel people will be excluded. So make sure they're not excluded. Make it inclusive, have them participate in this, of showing their appreciation to this group. Again, this Nurses Week event that we are planning, we are trying to make sure that when we work with our clients, when they're going out and they're talking with folks about this appreciation event happening, that it is come and celebrate your nurses with them. Come and build your own resiliency toolkit, because the more you're better, the more you support nurses that you work alongside with. Come and join with your family in learning some of these tools and strategies so that you're all better, you're all more resilient. And so the more team and inclusive it is, and you can message that. This event is celebrating this group or celebrating this particular award recipient, and we cannot do it without it being a team. We cannot do it unless we are all equally invested. So in your messaging, in all of your activities, before you introduce an education session or a motivational speaker or an awards portion of your appreciation event, make sure that team-oriented message is throughout, because I'll tell you, there is not one single appreciation event where it's been like, nope, I want it to be all about me. No. If you have that, which I think is probably unlikely, then that means that this is a divisive culture. It's built on competition, and that those people are putting a line in the sand because they feel like you need to appreciate me once and for all. That's not really a vibe about collaboration. So this is your opportunity, even if you have that, which I doubt. Even if you have that, this is your opportunity to reinforce we're in this together. I hope these great strategies have helped you to think about how to make sure your event is a positive experience, that it's inclusive, that it gains momentum. And remember, no event is actually just about the event. It is about the sustainability of the appreciation appreciation and recognition well beyond that event. So always think what we do before, during, and after is what makes this event worth it. And your people are worth it. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, you need some help, please reach out to me, Sarah with an H at greatnessmagnified.com.